Welcome to the Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as Rorix, and I'm joined, as always, by friends and co-hosts.
Rowan, you might know me as Mocha, and I'm joined by...
This is Shelby. You probably know me as Captain Unova.
Rowan, are you feeling okay?
That was pretty clean, but I also felt almost like a robot, like I was like just enunciating every word.
I am Rowan.
I am Rowan.
Please insert girder. Yeah, no,
All right,
it's a Futurama reference. I don't know if that one. Anyway, it's fine.
I never got into Futurama, which I feel like is a great disservice.
It's really weird, yeah, that you just admit being so uncultured. In front of,
I know.
You know, like 30 people, but yeah.
And the top of the at the top of the episode, hey y'all, my name's Harrison. You might know me online as Rorix, and I kind of suck. No, but in actual important things, happy Pokemon Day.
Happy Pokemon Day.
Happy
We got a
Pokemon
whole
Day.
12 minutes for Pokemon Day.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Was it even that long?
it was.
It might have been 11 minutes and 30 seconds. I can't remember.
It was like 11. Oh, wait, hold on. We have the power of the internet and YouTube at our fingertips. I'm going to go find that for you real quick. I had no idea it was going to be as short as it was. I, for some reason, was like thinking of the timing that would go with a like normal Nintendo Presents. And I was like,
I
wow.
feel like they're usually longer though, aren't they?
I
Like
thought
even
so
the
too.
Pokemon Direct, like
And maybe that's why I was expecting a little more than what we got.
Because was it actually Pokemon Day or was it just a Pokemon Presents?
today is Pokemon Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, today's Pokemon Day, and
Yeah,
they normally
that's vaguely disappointing then, yeah.
Yeah, they normally do a presents, and like so Pokemon Cast, I guess, did a cool video on like the history of Pokemon Day, so I might go back and go and watch that, or just go and watch every single Pokemon Day presents that they've had, just to kind of feel something. But 12 minutes and 47 seconds is the whole thing. And oh wait, hold on, I want to see if that
I'm
includes.
sorry, that was just so depressing. Just so I could feel something again.
But didn't miss the beat. So yeah, 12 minutes and 47 seconds does not include the 1 minute countdown. So it was an almost 13 minutes presents. But dare I say, I was
Whelmed.
whelmed is probably the average, right? Like I did not like it. I did not like the pacing. I did not like anything about it until the end.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Harrison's the grumpy one this time. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's like just the way to be about it, right? But just at least for most of it, like at least the first 8 minutes was all enjoy the new content for our existing gacha games. Like
And I
if you were
think-
already like bleeding money via mobile app to us, then you get to do that more.
And I think that's the problem, right? Because it was just mobile apps. It was just like there were not words spoken.
Yeah,
In
it
a
was just
lot
like
of it.
there's more of this content, which is just like we're kind of slamming in new mons to these
like-
things that get DLC basically, right? Like
Right.
there are new sync pairs and masters. There's a few new champions, or are they just called Pokemon in Unite? There
Licenses?
are a few new Unite
yeah.
licenses to be had in
I
Unite.
think just one, just a
And-
Miraidon.
I think they
and-
were like advertising more coming after Miraidon, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Charcadet
I don't
with,
play Unite anymore anyway. So like, and then what was it?
Ceruledge.
And then Go. There's some stuff coming to Go. Some like I think Ceruledge and some other stuff coming to Go. So like,
Yes,
if you
that
were
too.
currently playing those games, then awesome. But I managed to extricate myself from paying real money for pixels in those particular games. I mean, I do it in other games, no shame. But like, it just once you get out. Once you manage to escape that prison, you never go back. You're never gonna like start feeding them cash again. Like,
I mean,
So-
it's very true.
yeah, it was like you start like it's silly even when you're doing it, but you're like, I'm too addicted. I'm gonna do it anyway. But
Yeah, and
once
you need the boost, you need the
Yeah.
help. Like
exactly, if you
because
care about being good at this game, then you're gonna start doing the pay to win stuff. Like we were just talking about like FOMO, sunk cost, whatever. Like
Right.
it's very much that.
I mean, okay, like the overall scheme for mobile games is to be like mildly predatory,
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like,
right?
if you don't do this, you will fall behind, and everyone else
Yeah.
who did give us their money and who did grind
Or-
for however
Right.
many hours will be ahead of you, and they will beat you in whatever PvP thing, or they'll just feel superior to you because a lot of these don't really even have
Or-
PvP. Like it's not a
Even like skins
Yeah.
in Fortnite did there was
Or,
like
yeah.
a bunch of culture around that, like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, you're just like a basic skin, how you shuck or whatever, right? Like
But also, like, you know, you get hit with the dopamines, like, oh, this game's fun, I'm having fun. All of a sudden, it just hits you like, if you want to play more, you can wait or you can pay money. You're like, well, I want to keep playing. Like, I'm having fun right now. Like,
right.
Yeah. So on the okay, before we get to the actual real announcement, which is like 30 seconds.
Everything that we don't like out of the way, because I want to talk about what we
I think
like.
that pretty much is what we don't like. So there's one in the middle for me.
Yes.
We were talking about this in Discord a second ago, which is the new card game thing. I forget exactly what they call it. Pocket.
TCG Pocket? Yeah, trading
like
card game Pocket. Like it's a weird name. Pocket, I think, is what everyone's
like
gonna call it, right?
The TCG has always been something that I've wanted to get into because like I played around on PTCGO. Is it PTCGO? Yeah, that's what it's called. Like that's a huge acronym. Like during the pandemic, I think I just played with like the pre-made decks and like the mode where everybody used pre-made decks, and it was fun. Like I think it's a really cool game. Like there's RNG in it the same way that there is in VGC, like literal coin flips. But
I mean, it's a solid game that's lasted, the test of time at this point too.
No, but it is really fun. I think there's like a lot of skill in it, like beyond what I like really could grasp at the time. My problem with card games in general is that you don't get the ability to do build crafts and experimentation without a lot of investment. Right. You want to try this new deck, great, buy it. Whereas in BGC, like in reality, I just go to Showdown and try it. But even if I was doing things the real way, I would spend a few hours grinding stuff and make it, and then I get to try that new thing. Like whereas a card game, like you have to go buy packs, and I can afford $100 to go buy a new deck. That seems so silly to try.
Not everyone can do that, right? Anyone who has Scarlet or Violet can play VGC.
Yeah.
That goes against some other things we've said in this podcast before, but at a base level, you can do that.
Yes,
but
you have all the resources at hand if you want to. It's just time. Yeah. Time is your currency.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is that like I think I'm at least going to give this game a shot. I think it'll be a fun thing to try. Like it seems like the most modern take on the TCG they've ever like actually managed to do. And hopefully there's a non-predatory way to get cards in there. Well, I would love if you could buy singles in the game.
You get 2 packs every day, but as far as singles goes,
Yeah, right.
But you just,
they could go like the Magic Arena route, like how Magic Arena does. It's like all packs kind of stuff, but like once you hit like your full play set, so of like 4 usually, you can't get any more.
Sorry, I'm gonna need you to say those in English words.
So the way Magic Arena works, you open packs. It's still packs. Like you can't get singles, but like as you get the cards out of whatever packs you're opening, like the set, it pulls them out of the rotation if you have.
That's so cool.
Okay.
So because
you won't get duplicates past a certain point.
Yeah. So you could have 4.
So
in a deck.
That means even more so the other cards' rates go up.
Exactly.
That's really good.
And then it gives you these things called wild cards that you can choose singles with, but you still get those through packs.
Okay, I don't hate that. Like if I have to do a little bit of grinding and like play the game to get more of them, fine. That's chill. Like I'm not good enough or even know enough about this if I want to try to be good to like care about zooming to like true competitive play. But if I'm just like praying to pull the one card I need 3 of to make a competitive deck, then that sounds unfun. But that would be a great system. We have no idea how they're going to do it, mind you. But
no.
I don't think this is shocked it was that good.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be really monetized. I think this is going to be it's a gateway drug.
You don't think this is going to be monetized?
It will have some,
but I don't think it will be as bad as some of the other stuff. I think they're trying to want this as like a gateway drug. Like
I do see what you're saying. Yeah,
come buy the real cards. Yeah, come buy the real cards and play the real game. That's
okay. But if I buy the real cards, I can't go into the real cards and look around at my whatever that
in 3D or something. My card is.
My card is just cardboard at that point. Yeah. Not a cool picture
NFT,
on my cell phone.
NFT.
Yeah, NFT. I saw the whole time I've had the direct up or the presents up here. I'm waiting for this to show that interactive go into the card thing again. I think it's Pikachu. It's Pikachu. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It looked. I mean, granted, we got like little peeks into it. I have no idea how well the app is made or whatever, but it looks like they really put some effort into this one.
It looks good.
This is like the 3rd iteration of the card game online that I've seen at least. Like, this is the one that they were actually putting time and effort into. So hopefully it turns out well. I think this is like
it was also not made in house. Like Ilka. And DNA made it?
Yeah.
Sorry, just DNA. Ilka is the other one. That's the
They had two other people, two other studios helping.
Gen 4.
And then DNA did
they did Masters.
TC Creatures Inc. Creatures cards.
Creatures owns the cards in general. I think.
And then Pokemon and then DNA.
Okay,
yeah, so DNA is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I hope it turns out well. Unfortunately, this is not a TCG podcast, so we don't know a whole lot about it. But
but this is making it another video game.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, technically a video game.
It is another video game podcast.
So
yeah,
I'm excited for it. I will definitely download it. I'll definitely open 2 packs a day. I'll definitely do some quick battles with y'all and our buddies in Discord. Y'all
it genuinely sounds a lot less predatory than every other game they put out on mobile. So I'll give it a shot too for sure.
Have you played Cafe Remix?
I thought it was really cute. I tried it for 1 week and then realized that I think they do sell you gotcha stuff there too.
It does have. It has gotcha stuff. Well, I've played.
It's not as bad either, but
I do Pokemon Shuffle too every once in a while if I want that kind of game. But that thing is bad too.
Is it really?
It is.
Oh, there was new content in Sleep too. You can get Raikou and Suicune and Entei in Sleep, which had a very cute video to go with. But
Sleep is actually annoyingly predatory for what it is. I'm really mad at how much
I saw you guys and Kevin and Mike and Bruno all getting into that. I was like, nope, not this time. Not.
Well,
I've wised up to your ways.
I can't anymore. I just forget. I forgot a couple times to leave it on. I said, nope, I'm done with this. I lost.
I had to stop because I don't know, we're on a cruise or something and it needs data the whole time. Nope, I can't do that. So that broke.
Yeah, and you gotta leave your phone on too. You gotta leave it open.
My phone got hot sometimes. I was like,
I share a bed with my wife and my cats.
It's not
good.
It's not a.
If they would do sleep on the watch, right? Because my watch tracks my sleep.
Yeah, you can do the Pokeball Plus Go thing.
That's not what I said. I said on my watch.
You can do that.
I already wear this as my alarm. So you give it whatever access to fitness data for your sleep data from your watch. Yeah. I'm all game. I'll play the game.
Pokemon Go actually had that for a while and they got rid of it. I think for when I was still into it, especially through the pandemic, I would take walks through the city and
Pokemon Go. It does pull fitness data, to pull steps.
It used to let you do the Pogo Plus thing through your watch. You could
that would be cool.
It was very temporary. It went away pretty quickly.
That sucks.
I said, no. We want you to buy our special little piece of hardware here.
I'd rather spend money on fake Pokemon Go coins than the hardware that I'll use for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's fun stops for you, but then all I got was
it's nice if you're serious about it. But
sure, and guess what? I'm not.
I got one whenever I think I got it with the Let's Go Pikachu game I think it came with it.
It came with the ball. And
that's why I got this little ball.
That controller, which was funny.
Yeah, but it worked with Pokemon Go, and that's what I used.
I forgot about that. That's true.
I tell you another gripe too I have with Pokemon Sleep. If your phone needed to update, you can't play that game and update your phone. It was terrible.
I'm telling you, watch. I don't know. I am all of that aside. I am pretty excited for TCG Pocket. I will enjoy that. I hope it's not predatory like other things they've done. But we'll see. We'll see. Shall we get into the Z and A of it all?
Exactly.
Let's do it.
So actually, would anybody like to take this before I just let it out?
Hit it.
Dead silence.
It's only been a decade, but we're finally getting Pokemon Z.
It's true. What does the Z to A, the Z-A stand for?
Well, let me come in with my theory. Let me come in with what I teased y'all.
For context, we are getting Pokemon Legends 2. It is going to be in Kalos. It is going to be presumably about Zygarde because it's labeled Pokemon Legends Z to A.
And it's got Zygarde's skin texture.
And if the English Pokemon Twitter account is to be believed, which people are saying it might be bad translation, but I think they're coping. The entire game will be based inside of Lumiose City, which is undergoing a remodeling of some kind. So we don't know what that means.
I'm so excited for the prospect of this game, but let's get into it. Sheldon, you started us off before we hit record that you have some Get your brain
I had
the big brain theory because I was just thinking like Z, and I don't know what hit me. So you remember X and Y at the end of the game? What happened at the end of the game?
You had AZ, yes.
Yeah,
right?
AZ.
Yeah. And then ZA, yeah, okay. I was gonna say the same thing. I
was like, whoa! I hadn't seen anybody say anything about this like on Twitter or thing. I was
the really
like,
tall guy. He was named. Was he named AZ or Az? I thought
AZ.
AZ is literally his name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. AZ.
I guess I probably read it as
but it's AZ.
I think that's true.
He's like immortal anyway. I think that's his thing, right? He was immortal.
It's been 3,000 years. Yeah. The meme that goes around all the time.
Yeah, it's coming back for sure.
Oh, so yeah, for sure.
I think you're probably going to be in the future in the redevelopment of the city. That's kind of, but I feel like AZ is like the thing because like why did they add the 8? As soon as I saw that when I was rewatching the trailer, I was like, wait.
So I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen people talking about it in two different ways. Pokemon Legends AZ and Pokemon Legends A-Z. Or sorry, ZA or Z-A.
Yeah.
Because when it did the logo thing at the end, it was like Pokemon Legends Z, and then it's like a little hyphen, and then the A in a weird place. Like it looked, the actual logo looks like it's Pokemon Legends ZA dash. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure
a lot of my Discord had some
layers.
Like pretty stupid jokes about like pizza, like.
The pizza is really great too. Pokemon Za. And did you see the one with like Lumiose City and then like it's a pizza, right? Like yeah. So
yeah,
everyone's having fun with it. I think it's great. So I'm curious to know, like, it obviously I think the connection between ZA and AZ is pretty easy. Like it's there.
I'm sorry to drop something back. It's cool.
Okay, I was like, I wasn't sure if that was like something breaking or just dropping.
That was a very tiny metal thing. You're good.
Okay. So yeah,
just a ceiling fan.
Just a ceiling.
It's a ceiling.
Side note, I am actually currently terrified that our bedroom ceiling fan is going to fall on us, and I don't know how to fix it, and it's really annoying. That's a completely
roll the dice
aside
every
thing.
day.
It's really fun.
Mine stays on like 24/7, so I think I feel like it's eventually gonna.
That's what mine does too.
It's gonna mess me up.
So I really I sleep with an adrenaline rush right now, and it's amazing. That aside, so Pokemon Lumiose City AZ Legends. I agree. I think it's gonna be in the future. There were some like leaks and discussion like before about like the next Legends game has been in development and it's going to be in the future as opposed to the past, right? Like I
think this looks very futuristic, which makes in the trailer.
Yeah.
Although we'll also say every leaker was proven wrong today, so I from this point on will never believe them again. But that's
was there
Ku had all kinds of nonsense.
Oh yeah,
he's like still doubling down on it. It's just very, very wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know if Centro said anything or not.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Centro hasn't made any predictions. So.
Yeah, and I think he's flat out said that his his source doesn't want to leak anything about this game, so we're not getting anything.
Which actually I'm pretty excited for.
Yeah, that was great. I would like to be surprised.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely with like the way I wish we saw just a little bit more in the trailer.
I know.
It's clearly deep in development. I think they've gotten torn to shreds when they've shown us like in development stuff before, and
this is also true. That's fair.
In our defense, the in development quote unquote stuff they've shown us before has been pretty close to production. Like
yes, that's true.
We were
that's
all
also true.
We were all giving them a lot of cricketune about the Sunflora moving at like 2 frames a second, and then it was in the real game too. So like there was.
Hey, I think to their credit, it was like maybe 5. So
literal slideshow of it just like dancing across the screen, and they couldn't get any better in time.
So the trailer made it look all we really saw was a like note in Pokemon language that said like, hey, urban redevelopment program for Lumiose City, and then we saw like. It was like a fly-through of the city where we saw...
like Tron, but like in Tron.
Yeah.
Architect. It was like architect styled, right? Like Tron-esque, like light
It was
lines.
wireframed as if that's the plan, right? Like this is the brain cam.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But that's really all we saw. We saw, if you look through it, you can see humans, Pokemon, you can see them in cafes, you can see all these details that they're talking about that like make sense in Lumiose City, right? Because it's French. It makes like you have a little French cafe looking thing with a flabébé on it. You saw, I think an interesting thing you saw was a trainer tossing Pokeballs at a Dratini or Dragonair
in the water.
And I don't know if it's in the water or like flying above like a water thing.
Oh yeah, it was like there's like a river there.
I've seen a lot of interesting takes about this. Like,
and you also saw battles in the streets.
Yeah, but you saw the battles.
If
Aegislash and Sylveon, I think it was.
Yes, something like that. But if you think about all this stuff that we saw in Legends, like I feel like this is really cool because obviously it's the future it's not the past. I'll say, like Legends was. Yeah. So it's not like people are afraid of Pokemon and they're all like super dangerous. We're living alongside Pokemon here, and it has stuff akin to modern day where you have battles, you have catching, but they're keeping it looks like they're keeping you can just throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon from Legends and let's go, which I think is okay. And I'm getting that all from the Dratini thing or Dragonair thing because that trainer had a Pokemon, but it was behind them.
Yeah. I very much I'm so excited for this.
I'm so excited.
I think that Legends Arceus has been my favorite single player Pokemon game since it came out. I think it is I have a lot of nostalgia for Gen 3, but I think it is bar none the best single player experience Pokemon has ever done. And I'm sorry, Scarlet and Violet was. I had fun playing through the story, but ultimately I am come away from it very disappointed. And when I go back to Legends Arceus, its only downside is that it doesn't have a lot of replay value when the game is done. But I've started these files on another profile on my Switch, and I had a good time with it still. It's a really it's just a great campaign that you can play and really feel like you're in the world. I think that they can do such a good job with that in a city where they're not forced to it's still going to be huge, by the way. If the whole thing is in the city's going to be massive. Lumiose is not going to have the same layout it did in the 3DS game.
Yeah. You can look at the logo and see if they just even use that logo as a pun intended blueprint for this game, there is still a lot of stuff that they can smush into those buildings.
Absolutely.
And if there's even some depth to it, right? If there's an underground or a subway or whatever, or you can go up in the tower buildings, there's a lot you can do.
Absolutely. If you think is this just a single city, you're thinking of cities in terms of main series Pokemon games where they don't really do much with their cities.
3 buildings you can go into.
Yeah, exactly. No, Pallet Town in the game is 4 buildings, and Pallet Town in the anime is a really big place. Yeah. And Viridian City in the anime is a city and not 5 buildings this time, right? You can. The representation of cities we see in main series games has just been their way of dealing with the tech limitations. Their own development ability limitations.
Yeah. Game Boy, you get it for the Game Boy.
The Game Boy absolutely was just tech. More recently, I'd be a little harsher, but yeah.
Because you're right. They don't need it either because you're not.
It's not the focus.
You don't need to sit there lost in the city. Right around.
World. But in this case, it's just in the city, so you can make the city incredibly deep and
the city is the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I just hope this is just a lot more. We get a lot more than we got with PLA, because some of the issues I had with PLA is a lot of the questing system was just real simple.
The questing system was no cash to Pokemon, right?
Yeah, and there just wasn't a lot of depth to it. You've done it once, you've done it the rest of the game. So I hope we get a little bit more something to it. Just make it feel a little bit more alive with that. And I hope we get away from that battle system. I hope we just even if there's no PvP, I don't want to deal with that battle system because it was just it was trivial. Battles were just trivial and just pointless.
Yeah, honestly, that was the one thing that ruined it for me. I think that if they had just not tried to reinvent the wheel there, the battle system is one of the things in Pokemon that really, really stands the test of time, apart from just the overall formula.
But the characters, the Pokemon, and
the battle
system. And the battle system. It's just top notch, and they don't. Everything else around it is just kind of extra.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. PLA's strength and weakness was that they spent a lot of clearly a lot of time and a lot of love on making the core loop very polished. The ability to hide from these mons, run away from them, engage them in battle, which went between turn-based and real-time action of like dodging their attacks and not dying, like literally your character dying. Like it was like really good, but yeah, that was the whole game. Like between that and the movement traversal stuff, like I thought that the mounts in that game were really, really well done as well. If you take that core, keep the same performance because it performed great. Maybe give us some nicer textures because we're hopefully going to be on the Switch 2 for this thing, at least like cross compatibility with the Switch 2 for this thing.
I do want to touch on Switch 2 stuff at the end of this. Yeah.
So maybe some nicer textures, but it's fine. Even if not, I will deal with it looking a little muddy in some places. It's on the
Switch. I can deal with it on the Switch. Yeah. It's on a little screen. I'll be fine.
And that's okay. Like I as long as you keep that level of performance and keep that core gameplay, but add more to it. Exactly what you're saying. Like I want a little more variety in what I'm doing here. Make the battle system better, and then just go nuts and like be as creative as you want to be inside the this prompt you're doing yourself for the city. Because what I personally think this is going to end up being, this might be a little bit of copium, but I think the fact that the city is, like they say, the city is being developed, right? And the fact that we don't have, like, if it's all in the city, quote unquote, then you don't have like the standard wild mons like outside. But you saw Dratini in the river, but in general, like, there's not any wild monsters running around in a human settlement. So I think it's going to be actually like very underdeveloped. I think we might not even be in like the future. I think we might be in like a bunch of human settlements here, and they have some buildings, and our progress through the game is going to be like developing Lumiose and building it up. And as you progress through the game, your Lumiose will end up getting more and more developed, and like
I would love
so like a base builder on top
pretty
of
much.
it.
Like, and I think I would like that. Taking some Pal World inspiration here, right? Like, you wouldn't have the same degree of control at all, and you also wouldn't create sweatshops.
But it would be cool if you could choose like what buildings go where.
That'd be interesting. I do not wholeheartedly subscribe to that just because it says redevelopment. So
right. So
that could mean. To your point, that could mean there was something, and now it's going to be a better something, and then the better something is the Lumiose City that we saw in Kalos in Gen 6. Or you're
expanding on that one.
Or it is the one we saw in Gen 6, and then it's getting something better. Like those are kind of the only two.
Maybe Gen 6 Lumiose has fallen into disrepair, and it's our job to like,
and maybe really that brings in
is to like redevelop it and bring it into the future. And like maybe it's been overrun by wild mons in some areas, and there's like unsafe areas of the city and not, and so on. Like if you sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I would also love on the note of like where you get Pokemon from. I would love, and it being like a city builder, like you build up a base type thing. I would love if it was almost like a westward marching game, where like you go out, you do a thing, and come back to Lumiose, and then Lumiose gets better. I think that's probably debunked because of the whole game's in Lumiose, right? So it's probably not true.
That was more of the formula for the original, right? Is that you like you had Jubilife as the camp, and then
never mind. That's exactly what you're correct. Ignore me.
No, I think that is like the default formula, right? For especially this kind of game, is that you have your home base.
You go on expeditions. It's Monster Hunter though. That's the Monster Hunter formula. Like that's what that is.
And that's what I felt. I felt Arceus took Monster Hunter and made it Pokemon in a good way.
Yes.
Right?
It's not just the Monster Hunter formula. That's the like dungeon crawler formula. Like Phantasy Star did that in the 90s. Like
good point.
Like, Diablo did that in the 90s.
I just think the ties from like Legends Arceus and Monster Hunter is pretty. I don't know. It's easy because you're hunting monsters, right?
It probably like Monster Hunter probably is the most direct comparison. Like,
you're just not swinging giant chain like shape-shifting swords at them and knocking the parts off.
Legends Arceus went with the low-hanging fruit is even too mean to say because it's just the default for this kind of game.
I agree.
If they are like this is a really at least the very little information we have so far, to me suggests a way more creative approach to this than what we got in the past. And it might be totally overhyping it. It might still be just more or less the same. You have a safe area and you go into the not safe area to go do your gaming and come back and sell your things back in town or whatever town is going to be here. But I hope it's something cool. I hope it's something different, like some kind of like creative spin on the usual formula.
Hopefully. I think it almost has to be. We were talking, speaking of like changes from the past, we were talking a little bit in one of our Discords that Legends Arceus was a really cool tech demo almost of the open world that SV became, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an interesting one too, because I think it did a way better job at open
I
world
think
than
so
SV.
too.
And that's
that one is
in most
calling
regards.
it a tech demo is actually I agree it was. But it's interesting, like a tech demo for SV or even for Gen 10, I think, or this, because it was made in parallel, at least to some degree. I think we talked about this like years ago, like when this was all happening.
Probably.
Like on this podcast, even years might be pushing it then, but like
a year ago,
year and something. This podcast is over a year old. Yeah. Pre Scarlet and Violet. Anyway, we were talking about this. Like, it's confirmed that Legends Arceus was in development at the same time as Scarlet and Violet, at least to some degree. Yep. So they couldn't steal the tech directly. Like the concepts might have been taken, but I
think Scarlet and Violet would have been ran as well as PLA if it was instanced. So if you went into a city and you were separate from the rest, like, you know, the rest of the game loaded out, you had load screens, I think it would run.
You're 100% correct, but the data mining we've seen is that
the whole world is loaded.
You should be effectively instanced. You don't have to literally be instanced, but your game should not
but the
be
whole
attempting.
It should be rendering everything on the map at once.
World in memory. Like a lot of the mons probably don't show up until you get there, and that's proven because they pop in and out of existence, right?
Right.
But if anything about the world across the world is being calculated when I'm on the other side of said world, that is ridiculous. Why are you doing this? You are running this on a toaster. Like,
I mean, y'all have heard.
Please optimize. Like,
Rowan, I imagine, has heard. Sheldon probably have heard especially in your current studies, like of having your character be Atlas. Like, your character is the center of the world. As you move, the world moves. What's rendered in the world moves, and they just didn't do that. No, right? Like the Atlas effect is such a common video game thing for like large open worlds, and they ignored it. I don't know why. Makes no sense.
Yeah, and it's so weird to me too. Like being such a big developer with all the money that they have there, and they're going through these struggles. Like, I
don't know how much money is given to them is the thing. The Pokemon company has a lot of money.
Pokemon, but
Game
I mean, even
Freak and the developers, even Game Freak, the company, probably has a lot of money. But the developers assigned to this thing, and the amount of money assigned to the project is probably like not that much. And
time and personnel and resources and other ways.
The other thing is that if 9 women can't make a baby in a month, right? So even if you did throw millions and millions of dollars at the development of this, if you don't give them more than a couple of years, it's going to turn out trash like every time. Now, granted, it turned out trasher than it should have, but like,
I get that. I guess what I'm getting at is like you could find experts in the field. I feel like because I feel like that's what's missing. They went, these are our guys. Okay, yeah, you made these 2D games. Well, now you're making a 3D game. Like, good luck.
It's not even the same people who made the 2D games. Now it's like they made a whole point of like it's fresh blood. Like we're trying to train the new guys, but it sounds like the people training your new guys also don't know what they're doing. So like, what?
That's anyway,
how it feels. This is very doomer, and we're like shifting back into trash talking Scarlet and Violet. I really, really want the new thing to not be like that. I'm going to choose to be optimistic against my better judgment.
I wholeheartedly agree with everything you just said. The only thing that I'm going to say against it is them saying, I think Centro misquoted a tweet from Pokemon of America, because I think Pokemon America said it's an ambitious game, and I think Centro said it's their most ambitious game. But both of those statements coming from Game Freak scares me.
Yeah, so ambitious normally is a really good word. In this case, it's like, God, we're biting off more than we can chew. Like, we're gonna try, but we're not really sure. I was taking the word ambitious as a positive thing though, because it means that they are going to we want this to be a creative, novel take on something they've tried a million times before. Yes. So I really hope that ambitious means they're like really trying something cool and new, and like maybe it will be cool and new enough that you can overlook technical faults if it's just fresh enough that you're like, wow, I've never experienced this before. This is great, even if things pop in and out when they're 20 feet away from you and so on. Like,
being perfectly honest, knowing myself, I'm gonna buy this game day one. I'm gonna play the hell out of it right away. That weekend,
at least for a couple weeks,
that weekend is probably gonna come out on Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm playing that game. I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be a great time. I'm going to finish the game. Probably. And it's me, so I got to put that qualifier on there. But then I whether or not it's actually good, I will enjoy it. That's the problem. I know that about myself, right?
Yeah.
But I do hold out hope, and I agree that I think that it'll be good. It'll be something. It'll be ambitious in a positive light. I am honestly just so excited to see what, even if the implementation is not as good as it could be. The idea of what this is, I'm excited for.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's pretty. We have still information. I think all of us are hoping, choosing to stay hopeful, and hopefully it turns out that way.
And I think that's perfectly fine.
The absolute worst case is that we still buy the game, we still enjoy some Pokemon for a couple of weeks, and then we go
and then we'll never touch it again.
And then we'll go crotch the old man about it for the next year until something else comes out. I was actually just like very happy that we didn't hear anything about Gen 10. I agree. I want them to take their time with the game. Like I know they can't. I know their whole business model necessitates them churning something out every few years. But not saying anything is really good. Yeah, it means they're still working on it and they're not getting ready to shove it out the door too early.
Yes. So
they don't want to put it out there too early, so we analyze the trees a little too much.
Yeah, I hope they've learned their lesson. And to your point, right? Like this trailer, this like reveal trailer, I think it looked great. Obviously, it was all like.
It's all pre-rendered and all that.
It's all pre-rendered. It's nothing in game, like, and it showed nothing about the game itself, kind of. But like, I think it looked good, and I think not showing gameplay is at this point a good move.
Yeah.
When do we think we're getting this game?
Late 25.
You think late 25?
Yeah.
I was expecting
early.
I think early 25 because I think it's gonna be the same time frame as PLA.
Yep, February-ish.
Does that mean you think Gen 10 comes out in late 25?
I don't know.
Yes.
Late 25, early 20. Yeah, I take it back.
I'd say December 25.
I think you're right. I think early 25 then.
For Gen 10.
November.
Because we got news that, like, at least the leak was that San Francisco was going to host Pokemon Worlds in 26.
Right.
It would be the first Gen 10 Worlds, which means that Gen 10 has to come out before early, like late 25, early 26.
And we're, the new Switch,
it's never going to be late.
Delays.
I'm sorry, early. It's never going to be early, right? Like the pattern has been what it has been. It's always November.
Everybody like has been structuring themselves off of their predictions off of like patterns. Like it's always been this way, but they don't care about that anymore. Like Pokemon has historically been on a handheld, and now it's on a home console, and like this, it's just whatever they feel like doing.
Well, they're handheld by like the anime and the TCG too.
Yeah.
Like, so like
I guess my point is whatever makes sense to them business wise at the moment is what they're going to do. There's
for sure.
There's no magical formula. They're like we've always done it in this like with this many months between and this exact like kind of games. We're going to do that forever.
There's a rhyme. There's a rhyme or reason behind the schedule though, like that they have.
And I think that's the key thing, right? Like there is a pattern to what they've done, and they've more or less stuck to it. And I think you're right. I don't think they stick to a pattern because we must stick to a pattern. I think it's more other things kind of force them to be on that pattern. That's my theory. I don't know. I will stick to my guess is early 25 for this game, and then probably, like you said, late 25 for Gen 10, which means we'll get news about big air quotes, get news about Gen 10 late this year at the earliest, probably early next year, right?
Yep.
I think that was the hype cycle for this one.
Probably about the time this game releases, we'll get the first trailer.
Yeah.
Probably in a year, probably Pokemon Day in a year.
Actually, yeah, you're probably right. I think that sticks to the pattern. I think.
Hey,
that's just because it's their birthday.
But I think a lot of too with the release of this is going to coincide with the new Switch.
So the new Switch, right? There's been rumors since 3 or 4 years ago of the Switch Pro, the Switch 2, the next Switch, the new Switch, the Nintendo Switch New, whatever they want to call it, right? And so there's been like leaks came out that it was gonna be this year or like announced soon-ish and then released in holiday. And then also leaks that said, oh, that got delayed. Like something happened and now it's gonna be later, pushed back until next year.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. I guess there's a pattern to my madness, and the pattern is patterns. Nintendo Switch came out in March, so I'd be.
So you'd like to reproduce that same film. I could see them going for it just because like the schedule they're working out very nicely for them. But yeah, I think the delay was just they want to have launch titles for it. The Switch was absolutely made by Breath of the Wild being available at the moment it launched.
Yes,
and that's probably going to be this Legends.
Yeah, you need an absolute killer app the moment the system drops to actually sell. Because there's talk about PlayStation 5 Pro, which pisses me off because I bought a PlayStation 5 last year. But neither here nor there. It's just like, okay, your PS5 Pro isn't gonna have any games because your original PS5 barely has any games. I don't believe you.
That's true.
The whole reason that Nintendo does well still, despite selling Android tablets from 2015, is because they have games on it. That's it. And through whatever wizardry everybody decides, Pokemon actually makes good games for it.
They squeeze
games
good games.
Look good. I find Pokemon is a good game ish, but the other games, all the first party Nintendo games are great and they look really good for running on the ridiculously bad hardware that they run on.
Yeah, and to the point of there's another thing I wanted to bring up and forgot when we were in ZA territory that I forget if it was Centro or just a thought someone had on Twitter, but they're this could be Nintendo's take on a Cyberpunk 2077 or GTA style game where it's all in a big city, right? Big lived-in city. That would I could only imagine benefit from running on Switch 2 hardware. Yeah. The trailer did say Nintendo Switch on the top, right? The Switch logo for just a Switch game. But if this is just the Switch 2, that logo might not change.
They were saying the Switch Switch console, Switch family of consoles. Right. I'm sure it's going to be called Switch something. Well, they got to be careful about that, right? Because every time they release a system that is just partially the name of the last system, parents think that it's just a different. Parents
that was the Wii U.
Yeah, also the 3DS. The 3DS didn't sell as well as you would have thought it did because a lot of parents thought that it was just the DS but 3D. It took a while. It eventually did fine because it's a handheld. It sells very well, but it didn't do as well as the DS. Not nearly as well. Because
Interesting.
The 3DS actually took a while to catch its stride.
Yeah.
I guess that's not that shocking.
It also leaned into the gimmick way harder at the beginning, and by the end they were just what if we made games and didn't make it on the TV?
Have you? When's the last time you booted up a 3DS and looked at the 3D?
I did it one
during the pandemic,
and I never did again.
Really, you didn't like it?
I hate the 3D.
The new 3DS actually was a little better, but I still turned it off.
The new 3DS had better eye tracking or something, right?
Yeah. Eye tracking. It hurt my head a lot less too, but yeah,
it still hurt mine.
I did not get a new 3DS, but I found this. I stumbled upon this the other day, sometime late last week. But I found my 3DS, and I was like, I should boot this up. And I just played a couple of a total of 10 minutes going through 4 different games. Oh, how does this play? What is this? I found my little library of games too, and I was like, okay, cool, let's see.
Nintendo gimmicks are very hit or miss, honestly.
Yeah, but I was like, oh yeah, this isn't bad. The 3D I thought was a cool effect especially for the time. I do kind of wish that I had spent the money on a new 3DS, but then I don't play it right now, so I don't regret that not buying it that much. Anywho, I'm just hoping that the Switch 2 definitely has 3D effects. That'd be so cool. I'm just kidding. I'm absolutely do not mean what I just said.
Remember, we're a podcast, so you shaking your head as you say something doesn't translate.
Hey, every time that I've done a physical action for the video viewers of this podcast, I have also said it out loud. At least this episode. No, I hope it comes out soon, and I hope that the Switch 2 is great, and I hope it has good backwards compatibility so that Scarlet and Violet can finally run well.
Okay, so that was another thing I saw. Okay, so outside of the fact that Switch emulators are now being sued, by the way, which is a whole different thing.
I saw the Yuzu thing. Yeah.
Horrifying. But anyway, so what I had originally seen was that people who emulated Scarlet and Violet on a solid PC actually got it to run really well, and supposedly it did run better, of course, because it's on better hardware. But they're saying they still saw the same performance drops. It was just not as bad, even on like a 4070 gaming computer or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, and some of the guys who, like, I don't know if they were with Yuzu or they're using Yuzu and like modifying the game themselves, but they actually managed to make optimizations that made the game run really, like, not have those problems. I don't know what those optimizations were, but apparently there were like relatively simple, like, software level fixes to be made. So
it's things we're seeing Pal World fix on the fly. An indie developer who made their like second game ever.
Yes.
The lead combat developer is a child who worked at the convenience store next door. Like, he told them he liked gun games, and they were like, "Yeah, you Americans like guns. Let's do it." Literally.
Were they wrong? No. But yeah, so wait, so the way this would have worked are people who are not super software savvy. I'm guessing, Rowan, correct me if you know something.
I have no idea what the optimizations were, so I
not the optimizations, but what they did, right? So they took the Switch game, they plugged it into Yuzu, they ripped it off of like a hacked Switch, right? Put the binary into Yuzu, saw that it ran the way it did. Then they probably had to take the binary, disassemble it, hope that the disassembler they used could have probably some degree of source code, or they're looking at assembly level, which is wild, and then made optimizations, rebuilt the binary, threw it onto Yuzu, and built and it ran better. So they would have been working, like, what that means.
That's very true. Yeah, I have no idea what exactly they did. That would require very, like,
they were not looking at real source. Yeah, they were not looking at the actual source. They were looking at a disassembled, reverse engineered source at best, found optimizations, and then rebuilt it. Like that's a wild thing that someone would have had.
That, or they did something at the emulator level. I don't know, but yeah.
If it was at the emulator level, then it would have been a Switch fix, not a game fix.
I mean,
and those were in quotes
it was
for those
still
not
software
watching.
level, right? Like, anyway, yeah. All this to say, I'm not even sure a Switch 2 is going to fix Scarlet and Violet, but it'll make it better. But we'll have Gen 10. It won't matter. We can relegate this to the dark annals of history.
Hopefully, whatever we see that PLZA does really cool gets brought into Gen 10 in at least a halfway decent state, and it's super neat, you know, and then it runs on better hardware. Gen 10 can run on new Switch. We'll see.
Do y'all have anything else for this? I think I'm
Pokemon Day out. I think
I'm pretty dry on Pokemon Day, even on Switch 2. I don't know. Like, we have literally nothing on Switch 2.
Oh yeah, that's just that's all speculation, right?
Oh,
like, leaks and speculation. I don't know. I'm despite being relatively disappointed by the first half of the direct, I don't know. I'm pretty happy that Pokemon Day existed today.
Yeah.
I guess 2 days ago from listening.
The presentation itself wasn't great. The hope for the future it'll be.
I think that's the key thing. Because, like, I was feeling a little nostalgic about Pokemon today, which is such a funny thing to say, as Pokemon still has such a huge part in my life and free time. But I don't know, Pokemon Day, cool. It brings people together, like the three of us.
Yeah.
And others.
Power of friendship.
Oh yeah, Pokemon and the Power of Friendship. That's the next movie. If you guys didn't know, Pokemon and the Power of Friendship. Coming to theaters in 2027. I'm just kidding.
30 years. I was about to say it took them 30 years to make the Power of Friendship, Friendship movie.
I have no idea.
Like that's every movie.
That just sounds right? I don't know. That's it. Any other games y'all been playing?
Honestly, no, not really. Like, I've kind of fallen off of Pal World a little bit. I think I burned myself out a tiny bit on the grind. But
there's not a lot of content right now either.
Yeah,
like
it is an early access game. That is for sure. There's still some end game stuff I want to get to, so I will hop back on at some point. But Yeah, Palworld kind of fell off. There was a big patch on Baldur's Gate, so I fired it up and started playing a little bit again, just like trying Origin characters. That's kind of and like some of the builds I had never tried before. But right now it's been more BGC. I've been trying a lot of different teams, getting ready for Orlando. I'm probably not starting not deciding on one and prepping hard for another couple weeks, but
just generic practice.
Yeah, I've been trying like all the different archetypes I can think of, trying to decide like what has the best spread, what feels best to me. Yeah. USPN is going pretty well too. We got second in our division. We beat out New York, so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think Florida's in playoffs too.
Playoffs, Carolina's.
I thought that the playoffs were harder to get into. It's the top 4 in each division. It was just like
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Beating out New York was very much a moral victory. It was like they still get to go to the playoffs and just try then, right?
Yeah.
They were probably being smart, not caring all that much.
Yeah, I don't know how all of the how all that scoring and placement actually works. So,
but yeah, that's pretty much it for me right now. I've got a backlog, but we'll see when we get to it. I'm a creature of habit, and I keep falling into the games I historically really into. So yeah,
that's fair. Sheldon, what about you?
That's easy to do. So I've been keeping up with Palworld a little bit. Just kind of logging in, keeping everything together and everything alive, and making sure they're all working. So I got to go crack the whip a little bit.
Yeah, Sheldon caught up. We're like 43 as well. Yeah,
43.
I don't even look at my levels. I have not been on in so long.
I wanted to dragon for sure. Yeah. Anyway,
I've been wanting. I know it's something you got. I haven't got it yet. I'm probably going to download it this weekend. Is Helldivers.
Also, if you find a group, let me know, or if we can make the group, let me know. It seems like not a fun game to play alone. Like you want friends.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. Is it's way better with a group than just kind of solo queuing it up.
Yeah. So my another video game has been Helldivers. It's so I haven't played a whole lot of it, if I'm being honest. I've actually only played solo queuing, which isn't terrible. But I imagine once I play with friends and people, it'll be so much better, and I won't want to go back.
Yeah, that's pretty much what the game. I watched the game ranks like before you buy kind of thing,
right,
and that was like but they said like the controls. There's like they're simple, like they're easy controls, but you can do a lot with them, kind of thing. Like
it's great. Yeah. That's exactly the design.
It is really like a shockingly good just shooting FPS game. Base level, and then the humor around it, and like all.
I love the satire. The
satire is so good. It's
and apparently like there's
fascism
like
satire. In the best way.
Apparently there's deep lore in it from the first game, because this is Helldivers 2.
Right.
It's the same as Baldur's Gate 3, right? It's just like no, like 90% of the people playing right now haven't even heard of the first one. It's
but
fine.
Apparently like the robots you're fighting, you killed their. Like the people that created them in the first game, you killed their civilization. So like the robots are like getting revenge for killing their masters, kind of thing.
That makes some degree of sense why there's a war, but
like the bugs are like farming. You're supposed to actually like they're like farm animals. Yeah, you harvest.
There's going to be a real story and some political allegories. I'm here to
but people no one pays attention about because you get yelled freedom and democracy in your face, and you go shoot stuff. Like you forget all about it.
And it's just the fact that you're just such a disposable character is so good.
Oh, it is. I think like all the propaganda stuff too. I've seen it's like they'll have like signs. It's like there is no friendly fire in this game, but friendly fire is on in this game.
It super is. It's so good. We should definitely play as a group.
Yes.
Let me know when y'all pick it up. We'll make that happen.
I've also been in getting back into Pokemon Unite a little bit.
You mentioned this, and then also were sad about it.
Yeah. I tried it. I was sad, and I was like, no, I'm going to play it. I played a little bit more, and it was clicking a little bit more, but I just, like I said, it's just, I don't like looking at trying to like get optimized everything, like the emblems and getting all that stuff built up. I just know I'm a Dragapult main now. That's all I'm going to play. I'm just going to lock in Dragapult in every game and just do it. Because you can have something in League like that moveset, and it's just the most broken thing ever. It's insane. Like
I hate MOBAs. I couldn't get into League. I couldn't get into HOTS. I couldn't get into Pokemon Unite. If any MOBA was gonna get me, it was gonna be Pokemon Unite, and it didn't.
Yeah, I wish we could play it on PC. That's might be like the biggest gripe on it.
If
it's
it ever
just
goes
playing
to
it on
PC,
console.
I'll try it again.
But
yeah,
so that's fun.
Yeah, I think that makes an episode.
Probably.
So, a happy Pokemon Day. I can't wait to Pokemon Day again in a year, in 366 days. But between now and then, it'll be a fun time of speculating for other games to come out and whatnot. So on that note, I'd like to thank Rob KTA for the use of our theme song, Goldenrod Game Corner off the Ultra Ball album. I have been Harrison. You can find me online at Roixen, Twitch. I don't do anything there. YouTube, I don't do anything there. Yeah, Ro_Xen in all the places. That's pretty much it. Rowan, who are you?
I have nothing else to add past that. Yeah, that's me.
I am me and you are you.
Sheldon, who are you?
I'm Sheldon. Probably know me as Captain Unova. Find me Captain Unova everywhere. Captain_Unova on the Twitterverse. But yeah, that's it.
And together we have been the Game Corner. You can find us like Game Corner VGC on Twitter and all the places. But most importantly, all that stuff down below, the Patreon. I did it again. I just realized that we didn't go through comments and questions and all the things. Flip the table. We're scrapping this episode.
It's far too late.
Yeah.
We'll try again tomorrow.
Comments below your favorite Pokemon memory in regards to Pokemon Day being exist. That's the engagement stuff. So whatever. I don't know. That was such a bad poll. I'm so sorry, y'all.
Like and subscribe.
Right? Tell a friend. Give us $1 on Patreon. Whatever. I don't care. Join the Discord. That's important. That's actually kind of fun. We do nothing there. All right, y'all. I appreciate you all, both the two of you and everyone who has listened to us meander.
You have been Harrison. Press start and game on.
Yeah, press start and game on. Bye.